Alright, let's get this over with. Returns to Impact Wrestling. So what's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Driller here. Welcome everyone to this Impact Wrestling review, the show from November 17th, 2020. Josh Matthews and Master Ring show commentators. As usual, they're in Nashville, Tennessee. And let's just get right into it. The opening match also pertains to the show itself. The show was the follow-up of Turning Point, pertains to the show they did on Impact Plus. So there you go. Moose versus Willie Mack. No disqualification for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship title. Basically the match that they had from from Turning Point, excuse me. They have this match again, this time in no DQ rules, and the match happens and it ends up being pretty good. I remember they're using guardrails, steel chairs. I think they may have used other type of weapons too, but it was namely a very good match between Willie Mack and Moose. In the end, it was Moose once again getting the win. He goes for his lights out spear, goes to pound on Willie Mack, basically the same finish like for Turning Point, stoppage of a referee to the match, and the Moose continue on being down on Willie Mack, and that was it. And there you go. We get the Rascalz, go over their times in Impact Wrestling, inside of the treehouse. Had that laughing and everything, all that. Where it tends to the laugh tracks in the background and everything and all that. It was basically that type of feeling because they're gonna be leaving. And which they already did. And that's nothing to apologize for these delays of these reviews on here. Of one thing we're taking this week of it. I could have done it, but I keep forgetting about it and everything. And then all of a sudden, what pertains to, afterwards, the week after that, where it pertains to on that week, it was going to be Thanksgiving. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to do that either. But at the same time, I was just resting, that, and spending time with family, or pertains to Thanksgiving. So there you go. So yeah, basically what I'm doing right now is playing catch up here. The Deaners have a segment with Tommy Dreamer regarding about who shot Johnny Bravo. And I can't remember what happened on this segment other than maybe they, because there's something leading to it where it takes to who shot Johnny Bravo, which I don't care anymore. The whole thing is a letdown and a cluster of fucking away. So yeah. And I think at one point, I think it was during this one where I think it was Cody, it probably was Cody Deaner, touching Tom Dreamer's nose as the segment ends. And I see myself, what is this? And they also get Suicide versus some guy named Gio. Who's Gio? Don't know who he is. I like his look though. So the match happens, but immediately ended when Joe Doring and Eric Young came out and beat them down. Eric Young then gets the microphone and says that the reason the Dorian is here, is to make sure that you won't be able to sleep at night, more tends to other assaults and all that, and says that the world isn't yours, the world is ours. Basically he's basically referring to us. That is not ours. The world's not ours. The world belongs to them, which is Eric Young and Joe Doring. So there you go. That's basically what it was. I liked it though. I like that the whole thing with Eric Young and Joe Doring. Deanna Peralta was being interviewed with Kimberly by Gia Miller, and basically what pertains to them being, well, not only with John Peralta regaining her Knockouts championship title from Su Young, but also in the tournament with Kimberly to crown the next Knockouts tag team champions. All of a sudden, something happened with the pictures going weird, and then a writing on the wall says next week, and it's written in red lipstick, by the way. I'm pretty sure it was red lipstick. Otherwise, it may have been blood, but who knows? But it was written on the mirror, by the way. And there you go. That was the segment. We go backstage and we see Heath talking to Rhino about making doctor's appointment where it tends to him getting better, and then he could officially sign the contract to make it official with him being part of Impact Wrestling. So Rhino walks out of the room while Heath takes care of that whole thing, and then he'll catch up with him. But then all of a sudden, Rhino sees Eric Young and Joe Doring, and says to them that he knows what they're doing, and he's not happy about it, and it ain't gonna happen around here. All of a sudden, they attack him, and then all of a sudden Heath opens the door and sees what's going on, and all of a sudden Doring and Eric Young gets into the room. Basically, they tease that Heath may have been beaten up by Joe Doring and Eric Young, because Eric Young, as soon as they went in there to go after him, they closed the door, because it's basically saying to us viewers, nothing to see here, because it's going to get violent and it's going to get ugly. So who knows what they did to Heath there. But I think that's for the best too, because he is legitimately injured. Don't know how bad the injury is, but maybe that's the way to dry him off for a little bit until he comes back. So we'll see. We'll see what they do with that. Pretty sure it's gonna be built up to something where it tends to him coming back. Maybe in time when it turns to Final Resolution, which is could be the next event for Impact Plus, for Impact Wrestling, which we'll get to that when we get close to it. Okay, what was the next? Oh yeah, Brian Myers versus Crazy Steve. Didn't watch the match. Didn't care for the match. Because Brian Myers isn't there, but Brian Myers got the win, and nothing to say about that. But the best part was that Swaggle was not nowhere there, so it's whatever. Didn't care about the match at all. And it sucks too, because I love Crazy Steve. So Brian Myers just don't nothing. He does nothing for me. I'm just calling it as it is. Another segment with Tommy Dreamer being continuing with this investigation of who shot Johnny Bravo, and I'm like, who cares? But basically, the culprit is Johnny Swinger because of what happened at Turning Point, where the Dieners finding the gun in Johnny Swinger's fanny pack, and Tommy Dreamer has Swinger in the locker room and everything. Johnny Swinger basically doesn't know what's going on with the whole thing, and basically goofing around. Tommy Dreamer basically saying it's the people versus Johnny Swinger, and they're gonna have Wrestle Court. Last time we had Wrestle Court in Impact Wrestling was about a year ago, and it was with Joey Ryan because of his penis flip shit whatever. And now this year we're having a Wrestlers Court pertains to Johnny Swinger being the culprit of him shooting Johnny Bravo. Killful for K introduces Tina Dashwood, or tends to the waiting of me of watching the opening Knockouts Tag Team title tournament match, which where it tends to this whole thing. It took way too long for me to get to this point. I say to myself, why was this not the opening show? Because this is the one thing I'm looking forward to right now. But it was Tina Dashwood and Alisha Edwards versus Havoc and Nevaeh, and this match was not that good because of the tag team of Tina Dashwood and Alisha Edwards. Basically made Havoc and Nevaeh look bad in this match. But in the end, Havoc and Nevaeh won because Tina Dashwood is the weakest point of the show here, of this match I should say. And on top of that, Alisha Edwards, she just annoys me. So there you go. That was the end of that tag team. So I thought. Jordan Grace was backstage and she was on the phone talking to a mystery caller who was on the verge of retiring, but she agrees to be her tag team partner. Who is that going to be? We'll find out once I do the next review of it. So, and for those who are watching this right now, they probably already know who it was if you're watching Impact Wrestling. But I'll say that for the next review. Hernandez versus Alaba. It was decent. Hernandez looked good. In the end, it was Hernandez getting the win. And there you go. Nothing much to say about that. Rajul and Scott Dumoy was there backstage, and TJP shows up. Basically, because TJP is no longer getting a shot at the X Division title as long as Rajul is still the champion. So, at this point, Rajul just leaves, and then, TJP and Scott Dumoy talking that that, and Scott Dumoy basically teasing, saying that about Dusty Rhodes of what would Dusty do, that pertains to because with the name TJP, you can't get another shot. But if you only could be someone else, for example, TJP used to be called Suicide, and he was also called, when they got away from the name of Suicide, he was called Manic. So yeah, Suicide and Manic. So I thought at first it was gonna be Manic, because I thought it was gonna be Suicide. But we'll get to more of that next week. I mean, not next week. The next episode, the next review of Impact Wrestling, which is not gonna be next week, by the way, folks. I'm trying to do this on the same week that we're in right now, where it tends to doing one video uploaded, and then the next day I'll upload another video, and then the next day where it tends to catching up for these reviews for Impact Wrestling, and the same thing goes for All Elite Wrestling, which pertains to happen on there too. So, oh yeah, so yeah, that was basically it. So basically, they're teasing that TJP is going to be disguised as someone else. But we'll get to that when we get to that next review. A video vignette of the Good Brothers leading up to the tag team with the North from for Turning Point, which they won and they became the tag team champions. So we get a segment where the Good Brothers and Scott Dumoy retains to the Good Brothers on winning the tag belts and all that. Also, Ethan Pace walks into the room and says that he demands a rematch for what pertains to the North, because North are requesting a rematch and all that. Carl Anderson says that how about Page goes up against, and I quote, he says, a phenomenal opponent. Basically teasing a phenomenal opponent in AJ Styles. Because Carl Anderson is best friends with AJ Styles, and so is Doc Gallows. And so they basically were teasing that AJ Styles is going to show up on Impact Wrestling, even though he's signed to WWE, and WWE is not going to allow that anyways, because WWE doesn't want to work with any other promotions. And on top of that, they will not agree to AJ Styles coming into Impact Wrestling, even though AJ Styles is supposed to be an independent contractor. But anyways, that's what they basically did here. And then Gallows says the Phenomenal One is returning to Impact Wrestling. No, he's not. And we'll get to that when we do the next review of it. Based on what they did, we'll get to that when we get to it. Then we get to the main event, the Final Farewell, where it pertains to Impact Wrestling for the Rascalz, Dez and Winch, and where it pertains to Trey Miguel teaming up with Rich Swann. So the Rascalz, Dez and Winch versus Rich Swann and Trey Miguel, and match itself was great. Great match to send off the Rascalz with Rich Swann and Trey Miguel getting the win. And after the match, Trey Miguel joins along with the rest of the Rascalz, and they embrace, and so Rich Swann embraced them, and then Rich Swann lets them get the ring, and they all did their the Final Farewell. They put their jackets on the ropes, and then they left. Took a final bow in a way on the stage, and then also they also go backstage to see what they're doing, and then all of a sudden Rich Swann catch up with them, and basically they all did a group hug. Also, and out of nowhere, Sami Callihan, there was a trash can, or it could have been Ken Shamrock, either way. But it was an assault by Ken Shamrock and Sami Callihan, the world's most dangerous tag team. And Sami Callihan's yelling, do I look like I care about you leaving? Do I give a damn that you're leaving? He said something to that line. And basically beating up on Rich Swann, beating up on the Rascalz. Basically ruined the moment of the Rascalz farewell there and all that, and that was it. One minor note here, from WrestleView.com. Hashtag Impact Wrestling. What a tasteless way to send the Rascalz out the door. I kind of agree with him. To the person who works for WrestleView.com. The Rascalz should have left in a vehicle. Then Rich Swann gained attack, and what they have done. Rich Swann getting attacked is what they should have done. That's what I meant to say. And this was on Twitter. And there you go. And also, same person from WrestleView.com says hashtag Impact Wrestling overall boring show to a degree. I agree with that. But I'll get to my overall showing of it too once I get to it. They teased a Midnight Rider mix. Gimmick. I meant to say, and made a reference to AJ Styles. And although as far as I know, he is still under contract with WWE, obviously, and will have a 90 days non-compete clause. Well, it doesn't say clause, but you know what I mean. Mascherino was a face on commentary tonight. Boo. And and she said, and then says, I like her as a heel. And yeah, that's another too. She's acting like a baby face now. Which is kind of weird because she's supposed to be a heel. But whatever. But she's still good on commentary. Better than Josh Matthews, I'll say that. Now, before I end the show, maybe I'll first talk about the Tomah Wrestling. Tomah Wrestling with 5 matches, especially the match that was cut short of Suicide and Gio. The only matches I care about was Moose versus Willie Mack, the Knockouts tag team title tournament, which it wasn't that good. That's what I was looking forward to, and to me it was a letdown. And the main event was obviously the Rascalz versus Rich Swann and Trey Miguel, or chance to the Rascalz final farewell. But yeah, my overall strength for the show, 3.5 out of 10. Another crappy show, another garbage show, and yes, it was all boring overall. But once I got to the main event, I'm like, wow, my excitement came right back up. But at this point, it was already too late. So Impact Wrestling, you need to get the shit together. But after what happened on the last, on the next episode of Impact Wrestling, which I'm gonna do that review once I'm done with this, they once again let me down again. And I'll get to, and you'll find out why once you get to that review itself. But with that being said, thank you for watching for It's Natural Born Thriller, saying peace on the streets. If this is the first time you're experiencing Natural Born Thriller right here on YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more future contents. Like the video or dislike the video. Either way, thank you for spending your time by joining me right here on YouTube as I try to give you the best content I can give you. So you all stay well, stay safe, take care of yourself for everything that's going on in the world. Wear your mask, love one another, God bless one another, live in peace and harmony for us all. I am out here. Talk for now. Take care.